The only difference between the top 1% of music creators and everyone else is they understand storytelling. Creators that were able to build an audience know it, and that's why it's their secret weapon. So if you're serious about your music and you're serious about your career, you need to become a master storyteller. Because if you're able to turn your personal experience into a story that's compelling, it will resonate with your audience and they will start noticing you and your music in a completely different way. Hi there, I'm Tommy and I work as a growth partner to help music brands build their audiences online through content and creative direction. And if there's one thing I learned is that the music industry has completely changed the way an artist or music creator gets to the top. So in today's video, I'll break down what changed, why it matters, and the reason why storytelling is the #1 skill you need to master as a creative who's serious about building a music career. So you might already know this, but most artists that got signed to major labels in the past few years were found through social media. I know it's sad, but platforms like TikTok or Instagram are now the biggest mediums when it comes to PR. It's the best and cheapest way to promote your music, and it's also where you should be spending most of your time because it's where most A&Rs are currently looking for new talent. So regardless of whether you want to stay independent or not, building a strong online presence is the only way you'll find success in today's music industry. As a creative person myself, I know it sucks, but it's the truth. So you can choose to put yourself out there or you can stand back and watch other people win. But I stand for action. And if you do too, then there are good news. Because first, content doesn't need to feel fake or uncomfortable. You can and should be authentic, and there are ways to avoid creating content you don't feel excited about. And second is that you don't need to dedicate too much time into it. With the right strategy, it shouldn't even take more than 2 to 3 hours every week to get your content done. And third is that if you are a creative person, then storytelling can actually be a fun way to deepen your connection with your work and build a world around it, turning content into a pretty enjoyable experience. Because if I'm being honest, the reason why I love making content is because I see it as just another way to express my creativity and also just to express myself and who I am. But what's storytelling and why is it so important? We're currently in the age of short-form content and the attention economy. So as you can imagine, while it's now extremely simple for any artist to put himself out there, it's also never been harder to get the same people to pay attention. And that's exactly when good storytelling comes into play, allowing you not only to capture other people's attention, but to make them connect with you and your work. And it works extremely well nowadays because we're just constantly surrounded by noise and by things that don't really matter, that at some point we started missing the real connection between human beings, the authenticity, and the feeling of realizing that everyone has their own issues and it's not just a perfect life behind their Instagram stories. But how do you become a master at storytelling? Understanding what makes a good piece of content is one of the factors, but at the core, it's all about knowing yourself, realizing how you've changed and why, and then being able to translate that into content. And if you're leaning towards an artistic persona or an alter ego, or your personal life isn't really something you want to share, then the alternative is to build a world around the character that you're playing. But storytelling will always be at the core and it will always be crucial, no matter what you do. So what's your message, what inspires you, and what do you represent are all questions you might need to answer for yourself. Then you should also learn how to package your message or story into a short piece of content that feels authentic, is interesting, and provides value to the viewer. And you don't even need to have the most impressive life to be able to tell a good story, because the transformation could be as simple as the fact that you finally were brave enough to start making music. Maybe you spent years doubting yourself, maybe you spent months doubting yourself, or maybe you were ready from the beginning, but it doesn't really matter because it's all about a transformation. So regardless of your background and accomplishments, at the core, all you need to know is your message and then properly package it into a video. And once you understand how to make content engaging, you'll know how to package your message using the right video format, and you'll also start making your videos around a clear structure. That can only come with time and experience, but I can guarantee you that not starting is the only reason you haven't mastered it yet. But what about promoting my music? How can I use storytelling to increase my outreach and convert to streams? Because let's be honest, most of the time we are not starting Instagram because we want to become influencers, and that's not usually what happens. Our goal is always to build an audience and then take them to Spotify and monetize our audience. So while the same concepts apply, understanding how the algorithm works will be essential to make sure you're getting to the right people, So if you also want to know how the algorithm works for musicians, then just drop me a comment and I'll make a video about it. But that's it for today. If you're struggling to build an audience but you're serious about your music, then I also work one-on-one as a growth partner, helping music brands build their audiences online through content and creative direction. You can know more and apply for a slot using the link in the description. Hopefully you learned something from this, and if you did like this video, then don't forget to leave your like and subscribe for more videos about music marketing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.